These are globalization essays. What do you understand by the term globalization?
Ma'am, internationally,
Yes. 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 Internationally, what?
like a country cannot sufficient in demand of their population or their people, so that like every country is interdependent nowadays, so they have to rely on the other states. So for that,
Yes.
import export trade and everything included.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else? Yes. What do you understand? by globalization?
Transportation,
Yes. Transportation.
fast
Yes.
transportation,
Uh,
effective communication,
yes.
improve economy, and
Yes.
also
All that is globalization. Correct.
and the best information. I think it will
Yes.
be
Yes.
globalization.
Yes. That is.
Ma'am, globalization is a term used in international business, which
Yes.
help the developing countries and developed countries to trade between them and boost their
Yes.
economies and take profit.
Yes. Yes. Who is that? HP? Who is that?
Ma'am, Harsimran Singh.
Okay. Okay, Harsimran. Good. Good. All right.
Yes.
Anybody else? What do you understand by the term globalization? Yes.
Globalization was term emerged in 1920s by the Britishers when they were ruling India.
1920.
Yes, in 19s, I can say, ma'am, 1900s.
All right. All right. So, I'll tell you a very, I also, when you ask people about what is globalization, and everyone will have something different to tell, and everyone will be correct. Okay. This is a strange thing, but actually, this is so. All of you, whatever you have spoken about globalization is correct. That is globalization. Okay. But I came across, to explain, to tell you all a very simple definition of globalization, and that is that you can say different cultures and different economies of the world. Okay. Um, let me have my video for some time. Okay. So these are different cultures of the world. These are different economies. Just imagine different cultures and different economies of the world are coming closer. Okay. This is one sentence. This is a simple sentence. And another sentence to complete the definition of globalization is that this is because of two things. Okay. Different cultures and different economies of the world are coming closer. This is because of two things. First is faster means of transportation, and the second is IT revolution. So what do you understand by the term globalization now? Different cultures and different economies of the world are coming closer. This is because of two things. That is the IT revolution and the faster means of travel. The IT revolution and the faster means of travel. So is that clear now? These are the two things. What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
by globalization? Now, when you will read the essays that we have under globalization, under the broad heading of globalization, you will realize that the definition I've given you will help make you understand, will help make you diagnose, oh, this essay is on globalization. This is what we have to write. Okay, before I move on to the essay topics, let me ask you, there are no advantages and disadvantages of globalization as such, but yes, there are people who are for globalization and there are people who are against globalization. Okay. So supposing you have to say something for globalization, what would be your ideas? Yes, let me see.
Ma'am, shall I?
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
shall I speak about this?
Yes.
In
Yes.
favor of all globalization?
Yeah, what do you think?
Like
Plus point of globalization.
Plus point of globalization is like we can communicate with the people very quickly, and we get all the information whatever in a couple of seconds, And earlier it was not possible, but due to globalization, it is possible, and the it is also provides the flexibility in the work.
No,
If we are
Priti, listen to the definition that I gave you. Just listen to the definition.
sorry, I joined
Cultures,
later.
different cultures and different economies of the world are coming closer. All right. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
because of two things. This is because of two things. What is this because of? It is because of IT revolution and the faster means of travel. Okay, faster means of transport and the IT revolution. Now you are saying that faster means of communication are the plus points of globalization. No, faster means of communication have led to globalization. You get my point, what I'm saying.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so globalization is because of faster means of communication. Faster means of communication is not because of globalization. Okay, that is the reason of globalization, and the faster means of communication is IT revolution. Okay, and the second reason of globalization is faster means of transport or travel. Okay, now two things have led to globalization. If you have to talk of the positives of globalization, what would they be? Let me ask you again. What do you understand by the term? What are there? See, there are no negatives and positives as such. There are people who are for globalization, and there are people who are against globalization. So if you are supposing, Preeti, you are for globalization, then what would you say? Globalization is good because this. What would you say? That is what I'm. Anybody can pitch it. Anybody can answer this question.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
shall I say?
globalization ensures that sustainable development and of two different countries, and make sure that they are developing together and help each other in different aspects and
Yes.
develop their
Yes.
countries
But what are the,
overall.
why is globalization? Why are some people for globalization? First point is, I'll start it. First point is because of globalization, we have choices. Okay. Because of globalization, we have choices. What do you mean by choices?
Choices in working in different sectors, and also
Yes,
in,
choices of things, choices of working in different sectors. Sorry, all this is because of globalization, right? You can give examples here.
able to use
You can give
resources.
examples here. Let me speak now. See, examples are earlier, how many brands of television did you know of? Beltec, Texla. Okay. Now, how many brands of TV have you heard of? Earlier, how
Sony,
many
Video,
brands of tomato ketchup were available? Today, how many brands of tomato ketchups are available? Earlier, how many brands of jeans were available? Today, how many brands of jeans are available? You can give examples. Okay. So first benefit or first plus point of globalization is that people have choices because of globalization. It's very important for me to tell you this, all these pluses and minuses before I go to the essay topics, because then you will realize, oh, this is it. And you have to pick and choose the point in your globalization essay which fits in. Okay. Second point Sarjeet has shared here. Second point Sarjeet has shared. Many people get employment in the import and export field because of this. Is a very good point. People get, see, second point is it boosts economy. Because of globalization, the economy of many countries is boosted. You can then talk about many people getting employment in various sectors. You can talk about multinational companies opening in developing and underdeveloped countries and giving jobs to many people. And then you can talk about import and export trade. All this is under the broad heading of economy, boosting of economy. When people get jobs, economy is boosted. When multinational companies open, economy is boosted. So all this. So 2 points.
Best example of this term is, ma'am, European Union. As we know that in European Union there are different countries. They work together, and people of each country go to another country and work without any hesitation and without any work
Can
visas
say
or
that is an example of globalization, but globalization, some people call it Americanization. Okay. So globalization is for, are the 2 points clear of the pluses to you? Choices and economy
Yes, ma'am.
are the, now third point also one of the students has shared, that is Divanshu, culture exchange, opportunity of culture exchange. when there is globalization, there is opportunity of culture exchange because people travel to different places, they exchange their culture, they tell about the good points of their culture, people learn about the other culture. So like that, this gives opportunity of culture exchange. Any other point? Cultures, employment, understand other culture. Okay, yes, 2 points are written. All right. And any other? Yes.
लाइक मैम जो इन्वेंशन होती है ना, तो कपल ऑफ लाइक बहुत जल्दी हमें वो पता चल जाती है, दैट कम्स अंडर इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सचेंज.
Information exchange तो है ही है. That is IT revolution. We get information instantly. That is
Okay.
there. Okay.
Ma'am, globalization also makes sure that there is no war between two trading countries.
Obviously, when countries trade with each other, the good relations develop because they don't want to spoil relations, because they don't want to spoil their chances of earning of trade through trade. Okay. So these are the pluses. Now, when you talk about the negatives of globalization, when you talk about the negatives, think about the points we did for the plus side. And those people who are against globalization, they will say, oh, globalization is not good. The people say that it gives you choices, but in fact, the local businessman is dying out. Choices are okay, but the local businessman cannot stand competition from the multinational giants. Then they give example of Bata Corona. Corona has absolutely been wiped out. It was a shoe brand. Now you don't even know about Corona. Most of you haven't heard about it because it was completely wiped out by the big brands. Then you can talk about the televisions, that how the Beltec and Tesla have been wiped out by the multinational competition. Then you can talk about many other things like that, you can say. So first point we talked about was choices, but with that point we have given the those who are against this, they will say globalization is not good because the local businessman is dying out. Is the point clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The second point was economy. Now they say, the people who are for globalization, they say that because of globalization, multinational companies open here and there, and they provide jobs and they give, so much employment. And those who are anti-globalization, they say that the people of the developing and the underdeveloped countries are exploited because they are being underpaid. They are in their own country, these multinational companies which are opening in India from America, in their own country, they have to pay a huge sum of money to their employees, and they pay only a fraction of it to the employees here. And then basically they are for their own benefit, not for providing jobs. That is what they say, who are against globalization. And they also have a point. So is that point also clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Third point.
ये भी तो हो सकता है ना, losing our identity.
Third point, I'm coming to that. Third point, those who are for globalization, they said that it gives an opportunity of culture exchange. Now, those who are anti-globalization will say the weak cultures are being wiped out. They are losing their identity. People are following on only the Western culture, right? So this is what they say. Is that clear?
Globalization is also used to show the soft power of the big economies. Like American economy show their soft power through globalization.
हाँ, तो ये negative हो गया ना, because they want an upper edge, okay, upper hand. So that is why people call it Americanization. Harsimran, for the IELTS essay, be very direct. Your points are going too far. You will not be able to expand on them and explain them. Okay.
Yes,
Be very to the point in the IELTS essay. You have not to write a 1,000-word essay. You have to write just a 280 to 300-word essay. If you will write a point, which is very far off from the main point, the examiner will not understand it and you will not be there to explain, sir, this is what I meant.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So be very simple and direct. I'm telling you in very easy language what you have to write if you get a globalization essay. You can talk about many things. European Union doesn't come in, doesn't fit in. Nobody will understand when you are talking of that, unless you write 200 words to explain what you mean by European Union example. And you don't have that much time and space, right?
Excuse
Yes.
me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
May you please, is it possible just once tell me about the justification about the dying out the local business in
local businesses die out? See, there were local businesses, like we had two brands of TV, Tesla and Beltec, But when these LG, Sony, they came in, the textile and Beltec people could not stand the tough competition, and they're completely wiped out today. Okay. Then there was a shoe brand here which was very popular, like Corona. Bata and Corona were the two shoe brands when I was a child, but then later on, Corona completely got wiped out, and Bata is also standing because it has shaken hands with the multinational brands like Naturalizer, Hush Puppies, and all. Otherwise, even Bata would have been wiped out. See, because they cannot stand the competition by the multinational, these companies which are coming in, of the shoe companies also are coming in here.
Okay, and ma'am, one more question I need to ask, because you said globalization means like some people call it Americanization. So we cannot consider, suppose, Brexit as an example for like withdrawing the globalization, because the concept of coming out of European Union, so it's like somehow
what I want to say is, when you go through the essay topics that you are getting, you are not going to write these points also in detail. It is going too much in depth. Okay. Basically, you cannot expand to, if you can write it, but then you'll have to expand it to a bit that the examiner will get what you want to put it. Okay. And that will take too many words to give that example.
Okay, I got it now.
You got it. You cannot go to, you have to be very brief and crisp, and whatever points are there regarding this globalization. That is why I'm taking this topic today, because students tend to digress in the topic, and the main point is left unclear, ambiguously presented, and the examiners cannot understand it. Then you will not get a bad score. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. The reason I ask is because I thought that till now, I thought like the reason of Brexit is only because people don't want globalization in the United Kingdom. That's why I thought like it's a very good example, like it's a very direct example.
If you can place it well, it's good, fine, good, very good. But if you will need too many words to expand on it and bring to the point, then I don't think it will be good to put it in the globalization essay. Okay.
I understand. You mean that the example should be direct?
Direct. It should be very direct. We should be understandable, simple, straightforward one. Okay.
Got it. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Yes. And now we'll come to the topics. I hope the topic of globalization is clear to you all. May I know any?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, one point is not clear to me. This is related to disadvantages. First, you have told about this, local people are dying out because of big brands. And the second one is losing their identity. And I missed the one point. Third point.
Economy, they are underpaying.
Okay, economy.
Yeah, they're underpaying. And then choices. Yeah, that is under the economy point. First point I said was that you get choices, and those who are against globalization say that local choices are gone. They are being wiped out. Okay, so you don't have ready-made things anymore. And then
we can also say that globalization creates monopoly of different companies.
Yes, it leads to monopoly of the big brands. Yes, they have, because they are overpowering everyone. They also want a hand in the in the government running of they also have, because they say that we are opening multinational companies here, we are providing employment to your people, so give us a say in your internal matters also, which is wrong, right? So when you have to say something negative, you can put, but see, those are when you will read the essay topics, you'll know that you don't need to go that far. Okay, you just have to write the main points, and that will be enough for the IELTS essay. It's not a lengthy essay. It's just a 280 to 300 word essay. You cannot expand it to that extent that you can go that far. Anyways, if you can put the point nicely, make it understandable to the examiner, that's well and good. You can go ahead and do it, because there's no penalty for over length. Only the thing you have is time management you have to do. You have only 40 minutes for the whole task 2, out of which I suggest that you write the essay, first understand the topic, make your points, 2 to 7 minutes you will take to that. And then after that, write the essay, and then give yourself time for at least 2 proofreadings. Because I assure you that if you will do a good proofreading, you will at least take out 5 or 6 of your small mistakes which you had done, which everybody tends to do, even I tend to do when I write. and you will, when once you do proofreading, you will take out those mistakes and they will help you go a 7 or above 7. So proofreading is a must. Giving time for proofreading is a must. Okay. So you have to manage all that. So you cannot write a very lengthy essay. Now let's see some of the essays. I just wanted to know anybody who is day 1 today in the class. Anybody?
Ma'am, I have one
Ma'am,
question.
Yes.
Meghna.
Meghna, you have attended earlier. You know basics.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Preeti?
मैम जब ऐसे में कंपेयर करना होता है तो जब क्वेश्चन में कंपेयर करके आता है तभी अपन को कंपेयर करना होता है ऐसे में, राइट? अदर देन दैट कंपेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है ना?
नहीं, अदर देन दैट नहीं है, बट देन यू नो कंपैरिजंस मोस्टली आ ही जाते हैं most of the essays में. Just let's see, okay, the topics, and you know you'll see that in some topics you will have different points also, so we'll be doing those also. So anybody who is day 1 today, because I just wanted to know that, so that while discussing the essays I should go a little bit into the type of essay also. Nobody? All right. Sumandeep, you are day 1. Okay. Sarjeet. Sarjeet to pehle ho. You have attended a few of my classes. Anyways, let's see the essay topics. You'll find them interesting. I'm telling you. Okay. This is it. They are interesting. Just see this essay. Differences between countries are barely evident these days. Barely means hardly evident, not evident at all. Everyone in the world is wearing the same brands and watching the same TV channels.
Evident means?
Evident means जो दिख रहे हैं, evident है, दिख रहे हैं. नजर आना या evident होना means महसूस होना, नजर आना. So differences between countries are barely evident these days. Everyone in the world is wearing the same brands and watching the same TV channels and movies. Do you think it is a positive or a negative development? Now, this essay is basically आपको पता चल रहा है कि differences between सारी global similarities आ रही हैं. That is globalization, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Differences between countries are not evident. Everyone is wearing the same brand. सबने वही jeans पहनी हुई है, वही t-shirts पहनी हुई है. Everyone is watching the same TV channels. You ask people here, they are watching the same TV channels. People sitting in America are watching, people sitting in UK are watching, people sitting in Australia are watching, people sitting in New Zealand are watching. Everything is available everywhere. Similarities are not there. Differences are not there. Everywhere things are similar. Is that clear? The topic is clear? Now they are asking you, this is a fact. Now they are asking you, are these global similarities positive or negative? Do you think these global similarities are positive or negative? So what do you think? If you, how do you handle a positive negative development essay? First, let me talk about this.
मैम इसको दोनों से हैंडल कर सकते हैं क्या? पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव दोनों दे करके, कंसेशन दे करके?
हाँ, आप दोनों दे सकते हो, बिल्कुल दे सकते हो. देखो, what you can do is, in any positive negative development essay, you can say it is, I think these global similarities are positive. Then you have to write only the positive points of the global similarities. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you say these global similarities are negative, then you talk about the then you talk about only the negatives of global similarities. Okay? But if you give a while statement, then you can go two-sided. Okay? If you give a while statement, then you can go two-sided. It's very important to learn how to write this simple while statement. So here, first sentence is paraphrasing. Okay? Paraphrasing. And then you have to give that while statement if you want to go two-sided. You can go one-sided. You can say it is a positive development and write all about the positives of similarities of global similarities. What would be the positives in your opinion? Let me ask you. What do you think will be the positives?
मैम पॉजिटिव पॉइंट में ये आएगा कि like people are getting aware of all the things what is happening in the world, and they are enjoying same kind of movies, and entertainment is almost same for all over the world. एंड हाँ ये भी है कि लाइक एम्प्लॉयमेंट में एक बहुत बड़ा चेंज आया, जैसे पीपल कैन डू do their job from anywhere in the world.
Hmm.
L-
Yes. So what you have
Well,
taught
People
is
are
that
getting
I
close to
think
each other.
people are getting aware of and they are getting tolerant of other cultures. They are accepting each other. This is the plus point. They are watching the TV program that is written in the topic. Okay. But they are accepting each other. The acceptance of each other cultures is increasing. Okay. People are,
Slowly and gradually, racism is getting finished.
yes, that all these things are getting finished day by day. Okay. And people are getting tolerant of each other, accepting of each other. Then what else can be the plus point of global similarities?
Ma'am,
That
discrimination.
Preeti, what point you put that they can do job anywhere? They are getting jobs all over the world because everyone is finding that, oh, hamare jaise hi hai. Those similarities are there. So people are not thinking anybody else is different. Are the points clear? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
these are the advantages. Now, what would be the negatives of the global similarities? Let me know.
Losing our identity.
Yes, their negatives is that people don't have any identity of their own. Everybody is looking similar, wearing similar, eating similar, okay,
Creativity is
doing
getting disturbed.
similar, okay. So all these global similarities are disappearing. Everybody is
Uh,
eating the same food, wearing the same type of clothes, living the same type of lifestyle. So what is there? Diversity is dying. What is beautiful in this world? Diversity.
but
Diversity in
creativity also getting affected.
how?
Oh, ma'am, people are not able to think out of the box. Different culture influence the people to think out of the box when they interact. But
And they
getting in,
interact. When they interact, then different cultures come closer, they become accepting of each other. That is globalization. That is a plus point.
but at the same time, creativity also getting affected. No,
How?
we are not able to. Generally, creativity comes from our roots, and if we get influenced by other people, so creativity will be also influenced.
But there is different type of creativity. New things are coming. Earlier, there were new things were coming after months and years. Now, every day you find a new thing in the market. And that is because creativity, because people know what is happening everywhere else. They are aware. They are becoming, I would say they are becoming more creative. You are not able to give any solid example of creativity finishing. You are saying this point. How does creativity come from roots? Explain it. If you can explain it, I'll accept the point.
Ma'am, I think creativity will grow, but despite of that, the culture will be down because if we admire their culture, so our culture slowly and gradually it will be vanish.
So
Like
that
nowadays,
is it. No, that is the similarity.
Ma'am,
Because of similarities, cultures are being diluted, and a universal global culture is propping up. Okay, you can talk about this as a plus point, you can talk about this as a negative point. I can put the same point to you as a plus point, I can expand on it as a plus point. I can say that a new beautiful global culture is emerging which has the plus points of all the cultures. Okay, then I will give example of Mother's Day and Father's Day being celebrated everywhere. I'll give the examples of festivals like Deepavali being celebrated all over the world. I was in America a couple of times when we had Deepavali, and everybody, there was lighting over there also, and people were enjoying because all those who were in contact with Indians knew it is a big thing for them. They were also celebrating. Now you see Christmas is celebrated all over the world. Okay, so these global similarities can also make people more tolerant and more loving of each other and more accepting of each other. And so this becomes positive. But the same point I can put up as negative, that when there are global similarities, local cultures are absolutely dying out. And that is why some people are very much against globalization, because young people are getting cut off from their roots. They only know about the global culture. They don't know about their own culture. You can put the same point as positive and negative, right? When you expand it.
yes, ma'am.
So if you put this point as negative, you know what to write. If you put this point as positive, you should know what to write. All right. Okay, so
Got it.
we have done the positives and the negatives. What are the one negative is diversity is dying out. The world is beautiful because of diversity. Now, anywhere you go, you see the same stores, the same retail openings, people wearing the similar type of clothes. So that diversity is dying out, and this is making the world a boring place to live. A boring place to live. Okay. Earlier you went from one place to another and you enjoyed, you saw, oh, this is what they wear, this is what they do, this is how they live, and you've learned something new. But now you go anywhere, you are also wearing the same clothes and they are also wearing the same clothes, similar clothes. So there is no such diversity. Okay, any other point of these global similarities? Negative? Chalo, we'll do the points later. Read the other essay. Many different countries have most shops and products as the same. Different countries have most shops and products as the same. Some consider it a positive development, whereas others consider it negative. Discuss both sides and give your opinion. Now, many different countries have most shops and products as the same. Is it just similar to the first essay here? Quite similar, right?
Yes,
ma'am.
So now this essay is a positive negative development, which is an opinion essay. The same essay has been given to you as a discuss essay. For writing this discuss essay, you will need to have the negative points in your mind. You will need to know the positive point because you have to put both the points in this essay. Okay. Introduction, paraphrase, then write that in this essay I'll discuss both viewpoints, then say that I believe. Give your opinion also in the introduction. What do you believe? Is it positive or negative? Similarities in shops and shop products. Anything you can say, you have points. So whatever you say, you have to say in the introduction. And if you want to go two-sided, you can again put it in the introduction. You can say, while there are a few negatives of global similarities of the similar shops and products, the positives are much more. Okay, you can go two-sided. That is your opinion. As it is, you have to write both opinions in the essay. Your opinion is only coming in the introduction and the conclusion if you make a 4-para essay. You understand what I mean by a 4-para essay?
Yes, ma'am.
Introduction, conclusion, BP1 and BP2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you want to make a 5-para essay, you can still put the same introduction and your opinion as the two-sided opinion, and then you can write on whichever side you were more on. You can write additional points to that in your third body paragraph. Otherwise, don't make a third body paragraph. Write a 4-para essay, which will be very good. Okay. Do make the 5-para essay only if you have enough points for the 5-para essay. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have one more question.
Yes.
Ma'am, like for the thesis, like we can give thesis by using while statement or although statement.
Same,
So,
while and although both are correct.
so मैम मैं यहाँ पे कंफ्यूज हो जाती हूँ कि लाइक ये कहीं पे भी दे सकते हैं ना, या फिर ये फिक्स है कि वाइल सिर्फ अग्री एंड
अच्छा,
एडवांटेज?
मुझे बताओ, आप टोमेटो को टोमेटो बुलाओगे कि टोमेटो बुलाओगे?
टोमेटो।
दोनों करेक्ट है।
टमाटो, हाँ ये भी
आप
और
अगर दुकानदार को बोलोगे टोमेटो दे दो तो आपको क्या देगा?
टोमेटो ही देगा।
अगर टोमेटो बोलोगे तो क्या देगा?
तो भी टोमेटो ही देगा।
तो अगर आप ऑल्दो लिखोगे तो भी करेक्ट है, वाइल लिखोगे तो भी करेक्ट है। ओके, कंफ्यूज क्यों होते हो बिना बात के? ठीक है?
यस मैम।
There is no need to be confused. Okay, चलो अब पॉइंट्स तो सेम है। अगला ऐसे देखो। In the past, people used to wear their traditional clothes depending on their culture. Nowadays, the trend is changing and people wear similar clothes. Is it a positive or a negative development? अब इन्होंने क्या करा है, सिर्फ क्लोथिंग को लेके ऐसे बना दिया। ओके, फर्स्ट वाले ऐसे में जो आप लिखा था उसमें था क्लोथिंग को लेके था, फिर ये भी था कि टीवी प्रोग्राम भी सेम है और सारा कुछ। तो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? कोई खास डिफरेंस नहीं है, वही वाले पॉइंट्स हैं। पॉजिटिव है कि नेगेटिव है, आपको क्या लिखना है? अगर आप अकेला पॉजिटिव लिखोगे तो ज्यादा पॉइंट्स नहीं बनेंगे, अकेला नेगेटिव लिखोगे तो भी ज्यादा पॉइंट्स नहीं बनेंगे। वाइल स्टेटमेंट डाल के दोनों साइड का बना सकते हो। वाइल पीपल वेयरिंग सिमिलर क्लोथ्स इज has a few negatives, on the whole positives are far more। लिख सकते हो ना ऐसे?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can make a fourth
मैम इसमें मुझे पॉइंट नहीं आ रही, इसमें ज्यादा नेगेटिव नेगेटिव में तो ये आ जाएगा।
नेगेटिव क्या, एक पॉइंट नेगेटिव है मेन।
एक
Diversity,
आ रहा है
everybody
कि
is looking similar. Negative diversity is dying out. Everywhere people are looking similar. Okay?
पॉजिटिव में भी तो ज्यादा नहीं है ना मैम, लाइक
Positive, वही तो मैं कह रही हूँ, दोनों साइड जाओ ना वाइल स्टेटमेंट बना के, चार पैर एक ऐसे बना दो,
दो
ऐसे
ही
बना।
पॉइंट दोनों में आ रहा है, एक एक
और
पॉइंट
क्या?
दोनों में आ रहा
हाँ
है।
तो बस ठीक है, दैट इज इट। ओके, अगला ऐसे देखो। Due to developments in science and technology, lifestyles of people across the world are becoming more and more similar to each other. Do you think this is a positive or negative? What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is what clothes you wear, what food you eat, what TV program you watch, what do you do in your spare time. So isn't this essay also the same as the first essay? तो अब आपको ये समझ आ रहा है कि ये सारे ग्लोबलाइजेशन के एसेज हैं, डिफरेंट वर्डिंग में भी डाले, बट यू कैन डायग्नोज इट नाउ। डायग्नोसिस बनाने लायक हो गए हो कि ये ग्लोबलाइजेशन कैसे है। पता चल रहा है ना? अगला
Yes,
ऐसे देखो। Many people go abroad to see what other countries look like. However, the places all around the world are looking more and more similar. What do you think is the cause of this similarity? Do you think the advantages of this effect outweigh the shortages of it? Now, in this essay, this is a advantages, disadvantages essay. And they have also asked the cause of this similarity. So what do you think is the cause of this similarity? Tell me.
Globalization.
Yes.
Globalization.
Globalization. Now see, now you have diagnosed it. The moment you diagnose what this essay is on, the ideas will come in your mind. Many students tell me, ma'am, ideas नहीं सुनते वहां पे, लिखे क्या ideas नहीं आते। Ideas आप ग्रुप में ऐसे करोगे ना, ग्रुप में टॉपिक करोगे ना, जब आप ग्रुप में टॉपिक करते हो, जब आप ग्लोबलाइजेशन को इकट्ठा कर रहे हो, तो आपको आइडियाज आ जाते हैं। अब सारे आइडियाज आपने इकट्ठे एक बार मैंने आपको बता दिए, अब आपने डायग्नोज फटाफट कर दिया, ओ दिस इज ए ग्लोबलाइजेशन ऐसे। ओके, now they are asking you whether the advantages of this are more than the disadvantages. Here, in such an opinion essay, you cannot go one-sided. क्योंकि इन्होंने आपसे ये पूछा, ये नहीं पूछा कि क्या ये एडवांटेजियस है कि क्या ये डिसएडवांटेजियस है, मतलब क्या ये पॉजिटिव है कि क्या ये नेगेटिव है। उन्होंने ये पूछा है कि क्या ज्यादा है। उन्होंने ये तो खुद कह रहे हैं एडवांटेज भी है और डिसएडवांटेज भी है। व्हाट आर दे आस्किंग यू? व्हाट इज मोर? What is more? ठीक है, पता चल गया?
yes, ma'am.
So here you have to write both. Whatever you write, I'll write, I believe the advantages of this global similarities are more than the disadvantages. Ideas तो वही रहेंगे ना जो ऊपर वाले essays में चल रहे हैं। समझ आ रहा है आपको? ऐसे टॉपिक्स डायग्नोज हो गया।
Yes, ma'am.
And reasons क्या है सिमिलैरिटी के? Reason is globalization.
Globalization.
Yes, reason is global. And globalization में क्या reason है? Faster means of travel and IT revolution. You can say because people today can travel from one place to other very fast. They can go from one place to another, or they can reach from India to America. They can reach on the same day. Okay.
IT revolution का point मुझे
IT revolution means all these communication technologies, in IT, information technology. Today, the whole world has come into your bedroom through the satellite TV. Okay, you can watch what people in other countries are doing, wearing, watching. Everything is there in front of you. Okay, you can you have all these because of satellite TV, you have all these channels. You can watch any program on anywhere going on, anywhere on our social media. Okay, these are the causes. All this is communication, IT revolution, right?
yes, ma'am.
And then advantages and disadvantages. Now let us see the other two essays which are there. Some people think the increasing business and cultural contact between countries brings many positive effects. What is increasing business and cultural contact? What is this?
Globalization.
Globalization, very good. Okay, so some people think the globalization has positive effects, others say it causes loss of national identities. दूसरे कह रहे हैं ये क्या national identities ही खत्म हो रही है. You have to discuss both sides. तो एक set of people कह रहा है globalization जो है वो positive है, दूसरा set कह रहा है negative है. आपको दोनों लिखने हैं और अपना opinion देना है. Is the essay clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the ideas. अब आपको globalization essay आए तो आपको ideas के लिए will you have any shortage of ideas?
No, ma'am.
And how we can lose our national identities? I'm not able to grab this point.
National identities are being lost because people are, they are like Indianism उनमें है ही नहीं है. सारे globally उनकी language बोल रहे हैं, English बोल रहे हैं, कोई अपना वही jeans t-shirts पहने हुए हैं. तो national identities are being lost, ना?
Like
Yes.
diversity is dying out. That
Yes,
is.
diversity is dying out. Okay.
Ma'am,
Now,
you mean by national identity, the culture of the country? I mean,
culture,
like language and
behavior,
clothes.
language, everything that is national identity. Okay.
Okay.
They are dying out. Yes. Okay. And in one or two essays, I've also given the plus point of Indian culture. That I've also said that dying out of cultures can never happen. Even, any culture which is strong enough, like Indian culture is strong enough. Even if we wear jeans and t-shirts, even if we speak English all the time, do we start taking the names of our parents and grandparents, or we call them? We don't.
No, ma'am.
Do we touch the feet of our elders even if we speak a lot of English, even if we wear a lot of Western clothes? Do we stop touching the feet of our elderly?
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
So our basic deep rooted culture will always be alive. This I've put in one or two essays, and I've said that I don't believe all the similarities are superficial similarities. Deep rooted differences will always be there, and no strong culture can be totally wiped out. That is what I have written. So you can also have these points put in some essay, right? I think
Ma'am.
you will agree with me at that. Yes.
मैम जैसे अभी मेरे मन में एक पॉइंट आया, लाइक जैसे अब कोविड के टाइम पे अपना एक स्ट्रॉन्ग कल्चर है नमस्ते, तो उसको क्या लिखेंगे? मुझे नमस्ते हिंदी में.
I tell you. So you can say that the good point of our culture, the whole world adopted the good point of our culture during the COVID times, because when we greet other people, we say namaste or namaskar, which is done by folding the hands, fingers pointing upward, thumbs pointing towards to yourself, palms facing each other. And this is accompanied by a slight bow. This means I'm your humble servant. And this is the Indian culture. And this was adopted by everyone. Everyone during the COVID times, even the Western countries who normally greet each other by hugging and by kissing or something like that, they stopped doing it. Shaking hands also went down, because people wouldn't like to touch others for fear of spread of the virus. So namaste or namaskar became widely accepted, and it is still going on. People are still greeting each other like that, even though COVID is no longer here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can give this point also. Read this last essay here. The speeding up of life in many areas, such as travel and communication. So what is this speeding up of life in travel and communication? What is this?
Globalization.
Globalization. Now you could diagnose it. Has negative effects on society at all levels, individual, national, and global. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now the essay is saying globalization is negative. Do you agree or disagree? Now, if you strongly agree, you will write all negatives of globalization. If you strongly disagree, you will write all positives of globalization. If you want to go two-sided, you know what you have to do. What do you have to do then? Put a which
We
statement?
have to stick to the travel and communication, or we can little bit shift the topic of
What?
like ma'am, in this the speeding up of life in many areas such as travel and communication. So I think there is a very less negative effects. Positive effects are more.
What are
So
that is, you can write whatever you think. You can write that. You can say while there are a few negative effects of speeding up of life in travel and communication, the positives are much more.
मैम यहाँ पे agree disagree है ना, I guess.
They agree, disagree, na? You can see, you can go one-sided. If you strongly agree, you will write all about the negatives of globalization, because that topic is saying it is negative.
Negative effect.
Okay. If you disagree strongly, you will talk all about positives. If you want to go two-sided, use the while statement.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay?
But today video upload on app.
What?
Today video upload on app.
Today will I? What? I didn't understand.
Ma'am, I guess he is saying that today will you upload this video or not? I think.
Sure, I will surely upload it. Okay. All right. Now
Good.
let us.
Excuse me, ma'am. I
Yes.
need to ask you something about agree, disagree.
Yes. Ask. Let Nafisa.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. When it is asked, so we need to when it's written like up to what extent. So we need to like clear our idea in introduction. Means like we told like strongly
say,
agree or disagree.
You can even if it is written to what extent, even if it is written or not written, it doesn't mean anything different. You can strongly agree, disagree. You can go two-sided. Here also you can strongly agree. See up to what
Okay.
extent, Anna, take it logically. I can say it means the same as agree, disagree. I would say if I have to strongly agree, that means I'm 100% disagree, agreeing, right? Strongly agree would be that. So
Okay.
extent I have given.
Then
Extent I have given.
okay, then ma'am, like in the introduction, I have to say that I agree, suppose I strongly agree or I strongly disagree. And
See,
based on that,
what we
the
say,
remain body
you know,
paragraph should be
yes, only on one
one
side. One side.
one
See, I
side.
tell you one thing, you don't need to at many a time you don't need to write the word agree or disagree. Your statement, the thesis statement will make it clear. Okay, but you can write the word. I'm not saying you do not need to. I'm saying you may write, you may make it clear without writing that statement, whatever your view is. Okay.
Okay,
For
then
example, in this essay, in the essay in front of you, if I have to go two-sided or if I have to go one-sided, I'll give you both examples. The speeding up of life in many areas. The fast-paced life in areas such as travel and communication, it is believed by some. It is believed by some, okay, that the fast pace of life in travel and communication has detrimental effects on society at all levels, individual, national, global. Okay, I'll not change it. While there
okay.
are a few downsides of globalization, I believe the positives are much more. I've gone two-sided. Okay, now if I have to go one-sided,
Yes.
I'll say I believe the speeding up of life in travel and communication has positive effects on all levels. Now it is clear I have disagreed strongly. I didn't need to write the word disagree strongly.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
How we can came to know that these questions are under category globalization?
I've been teaching this for the past almost 40 minutes now. And if this question is still arising, that means I'm not a good teacher at all. I mean, isn't it? Were you there in the class right from the first minute?
No, ma'am.
That is why. So you attend the video later on, recorded video, you will understand. You will be
Okay.
able to diagnose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Those
I need
who,
to
those,
again.
who, those who were with me since the very beginning of the class, have I answered her question correctly? Will she understand how to diagnose after watching the recording?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Or do I
Yes,
need to
yes.
repeat the whole
Easily,
class?
ma'am.
Easily. So Jaspreet, I hope this is your question is answered. Okay? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I needed to ask you something else also.
Yes.
Like when we just write the introduction, so if it's in one-sided or two-sided, based on that we design our two main
Absolutely.
body paragraph.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
it. If
Okay.
you can do that well,
Oh.
you definitely get a good band score. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Then when it is one-sided, when it's one-sided, so we need to first main body paragraph means the first one, like one reason of that and expand the idea, and the second reason of that and expand the idea. This will be fine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely fine. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. And this is it. This actually, everything is very simple and straightforward. And I've seen that many students who write very simple and straightforward essays do get a good band score. Basically, students are, when they go places and they learn about this, and there are some 9-band essay samples on the net, reading that, they get so intimidated that, oh, this is the level we have to write, we cannot write. They get, but when many a times when I've told the students that this simple writing will fetch you a good band score, and ultimately it does also, most of their fear vanishes and they know they can write simple English. Okay. So that is basically, and
Okay, ma'am.
believe me, it will help you. Okay. Now let us see the points. Now we are coming to the points, what we have already done. So we'll have a quick read on the points. What are the advantages of global similarities? First advantage is communication is much better nowadays, as people understand other cultures much better and have become more open in their outlook of life. Second, people have become aware of other cultures and so are adopting the good points of all cultures, as a result of which a global culture has arisen, which is being embraced by people around the world. Third point, multinational companies have opened in many parts of the world, providing jobs to thousands of people. Last point, there is also more efficient trade between different countries around the globe, thereby improving the economies of the developing countries. Now, when I read out the points, could you understand these points very quickly as I was reading out, because you already know them? Okay, we have already been doing these points, right? Are they clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
What are the disadvantages? You can see disadvantage. I don't have many disadvantages with me. National identities are disappearing and diversity is being lost. Only two disadvantages. Diversity khatam ho rahi hai, national identities are disappearing. Disappear ho rahi hai. People eat the same food, watch the same TV programs, listen to the same music, and wear the same clothes. Similar word is better here, not the same. Okay? They eat similar food, watch similar TV programs, listen to similar music, and watch the सेम म्यूजिक कैन डू सेम म्यूजिक सुन सकते हैं पर सेम फूड नहीं खा सकते ना, वो अपना खा रहे हैं ये अपना खा रहे हैं, सिमिलर आएगा यहाँ पे. Okay, own view is, I believe that nations are as different as they were ever in the past. Cultural identity is based on far more than just the films people watch or the clothes they wear. For example, in India, people may wear any clothes, but they respect their elders and never call them by their name. So basically, I told you this point also, that I have written in essays that global similarities disappearance is just a superficial disappearance. Deep rooted identity, cultural identity is still there among all the people. Basically Japanese में बड़ी अच्छी उनकी जो culture है. When I watched a movie of Japanese movie Okurobito, and it's a very slow movie, but it is there in English also as Departures. The name is that when people die, how they take care of the last rites of the person. And this lady, she doesn't like her husband because he is doing this job, and she says, is this a job? Don't do something else. And then they're on the verge of a divorce because this person says that I do this job so beautifully, everyone has to die one day. He's in a dilemma whether to go for a divorce. He thinks that his wife will leave him because of this job, but he can't help it because he doesn't want to leave that job also. And end is that this person's father dies and the wife goes with him there, and some other people are doing the same ceremony on his father, and they are doing it in a very bad way. And then she realizes that her husband, what job her husband is doing, and she starts respecting that job, and she fights with those people. Stop doing it, my husband will do it. They say no, he cannot do it, it's his father. She says no, let it be, you will not do it because you are not doing it right. And that I really loved, and that is their culture. And whatever foreign Western culture influence will come, that will never die. That is also a very deep rooted culture in their in Japan. So similarly, we have our own points of culture. Can they ever die? Can those cultures ever die? How we dispose of the dead bodies? We give a bath, we do this, we do the prayers. Can that ever happen? Die out? No, never. So it is wearing the same clothes, speaking the same language, watching similar movies. That is superficial similarity. That is what I have put in my paragraph. You can put that point as it is. So
Ma'am,
what
यहाँ पे instead of elder, can we give parents or relatives? I think.
yes, we never take the names of our parents and grandparents. Do we take?
No,
No.
ma'am, because elder पे
my,
मैं
my father went abroad, America. A 6-year-old girl, neighbor's daughter, where my sister was staying. She became friends because they were, walking around in the evening, taking a walk, and that girl was also walking, so they became friends. And when Papa came back, she's calling Papa and saying, "Manmohan, how are you?" That 6-year-old girl, and my father was 84 at that time. And I said, "Papa, who is she?" Papa says, "My girlfriend." I said, "Girlfriend?" He says, "Yes, she's a girl and she's my friend. Look, she's calling me so nicely. Manmohan, how are you? Have you reached home?" So that is it, that is their culture. Our children will they call their grandparents like that? Never, ever, because that is not in our culture. Okay. So what are the effects of globalization at the individual level? Individual level, people have more choices, more opportunities to travel, better job prospects, more awareness and tolerance of other cultures. Due to better communication, people are connected with their near and dear ones, and distances are no longer a barrier. What are the effects of globalization at national level? Countries are getting closer, boundaries are disappearing. Because of this fast era of today, nations are developing strong bonds, doing successful trade with each other. Okay. The rich nations are opening multinational companies in developing countries and thus providing job opportunities to millions. This is narrowing the gap between the rich and the poor, and affects at international level. At the global level, nations are joining hands to fight evils such as poverty, disease, terrorism, and global warming. So these are the effects at the individual, national, and global level. So these were first few essays that I read of globalization. I'll read a few topics and you'll see that how similar the points are. Okay. This essay says, as we are facing more and more problems which affect the whole planet, good relationships between different countries are becoming more important than ever before. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And the second essay, some people say that some urgent problems in modern society can only be solved with international cooperation. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, in these two topics, would it be wise to go two-sided?
No, ma'am. I think we should go on one side.
Yes, because see, you cannot say good relations are not important or becoming less important. You cannot say that. And you cannot say that urgent problems can only, okay, here in this essay can only be solved by international cooperation. Here you can go two-sided. In this essay, you shouldn't go two-sided.
मैम मुझे पहला पहला वाला समझ में नहीं आया.
पहले वाला ऐसे कह रहा है कि जैसे कई प्रॉब्लम्स है मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड, मोर प्रॉब्लम्स है जो सारे प्लैनेट को अफेक्ट कर रही हैं. पहले तो आप ये बताओ मुझे, कौन सी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स है जो सारे लोगों को अफेक्ट कर रही हैं ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड? जापान में
Carbon
लोगों को
emission.
अफेक्ट कर, यस, पोल्यूशन. सेकंड, टेररिज्म. टेररिस्ट क्या कर रहे हैं?
All over the
जगह
world.
कहीं पे भी बॉम्ब थ्रो कर देते हैं. पेरिस में भी हो गए बॉम्ब अटैक, इंडिया में भी हो गए बॉम्ब अटैक, अमेरिका में भी हो गए. क्या है ये? Okay, so what is this? This is whole planet is suffering from terrorism, whole planet is suffering from pollution, and एक point आप ले लो disease का, वो कोविड का एग्जाम्पल डल जाएगा. अब ये ऐसे कह रहा है कि क्योंकि ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स है जो सारी दुनिया में सारे लोग फेस कर रहे हैं एक ही प्रॉब्लम्स को, तो इसकी वजह से गुड रिलेशंस डिफरेंट कंट्रीज के पहले से भी ज्यादा जरूरी हो गए हैं. पहले अगर नहीं भी थे अच्छे रिलेशंस तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता था, आज फर्क पड़ता है. आज अच्छे रिलेशंस बहुत जरूरी हो गए हैं, और मेरे ख्याल में इस डिसएग्री वाला कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं बनेगा. एग्री करो और बोलो हाँ. और ये जो मैंने 3 पॉइंट्स आपको दिए, तीनों पॉइंट्स को लेके 3 पैरे बना दो. यू टेक द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ ऑन पोल्यूशन, यू कैन से कि पोल्यूशन इज एयर पोल्यूशन ही ले लो. एयर पोल्यूशन इज इट LOC है जो जहां इंडिया और पाकिस्तान की लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल है, क्या पोल्यूशन कहेगी अगर धुआं उठ रहा है कि मैंने उधर नहीं जाना, LOC है यहाँ पे?
No, ma'am.
तो it is affecting the whole. So all countries have to join hands ना to fight it. ठीक है. अब जापान है, उसके साथ कौन सा ओशन लगता है? जापान अगर सारा अपना इंडस्ट्रियल वेस्ट ओशन में गिराएगा तो ओशन के दूसरे तरफ जो कंट्री है उसको इफेक्ट जाएगा कि नहीं जाएगा?
अटलांटिक ओशन है मैडम,
अटलांटिक ओशन है ना, अटलांटिक ओशन है।
सॉरी पैसिफिक ओशन, अटलांटिक इज बिटवीन नेटो एंड अमेरिका।
तो मेरी ज्योग्राफी वैसे अच्छी है, but somehow I'm getting confused now. Anyways, so if this is happening, the other countries are also going to suffer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So all countries have to come closer. They have to shake hands, have good relations with each other. They cannot say I will do this. आपका नुकसान होता तो होता रहे. They cannot do this. Okay, good relations. Now the second essay here, इसमें आप two sided जा सकते हो. ये ऐसे कह रहा है कि जो अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम्स है मॉडर्न सोसाइटी की, वो ओनली बी सॉल्व विद इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन. तो आप कह सकते हो कि जो अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम्स है इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन से तो सॉल्व होनी है, बट ओनली वर्ड से आप डिसएग्री कर सकते हो कि नहीं, नेशनल लेवल पे भी बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो और इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे भी बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो. सिर्फ
मैम अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम मींस इमरजेंसी ना?
अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम्स वही है ना, पोल्यूशन इज अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम, जो अर्जेंट है प्रॉब्लम, जो सबको अफेक्ट कर रही है. टेररिज्म इज एन अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम, डिजीज इज एन अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम. यही वाली प्रॉब्लम्स है, ये दोनों ऐसे एक ही कैटेगरी के हैं.
Okay.
अर्जेंट हियर, अर्जेंट मींस प्रेसिंग प्रॉब्लम्स, ग्रेव प्रॉब्लम्स. ओके, लाइक दैट. लेट मी सी, अर्जेंट का ये मीनिंग भी होगा अर्जेंट. लेट्स सी.
मैम लेकिन पॉल्यूशन प्रॉब्लम है, बट अर्जेंट मतलब
अर्जेंट वही मैं बता रही हूँ, अर्जेंट का ये भी मतलब होता है ग्रेव प्रॉब्लम. लेट्स सी, आई एम चेकिंग विद यू. अर्जेंट, अर्जेंट का सिर्फ वही मतलब नहीं है कि इमीडिएट है. दैट नीड्स टू बी डेल्ट विद, दैट नीड्स टू बी डेल्ट विद अर्जेंटली. वो भी तो है ना, प्रेसिंग प्रॉब्लम्स. समझ गए?
प्रॉब्लम.
प्रेसिंग प्रॉब्लम, serious problem, grave problem. Okay, that is also showing that you think that something needs to be dealt with urgently. वो है urgent, मतलब pollution urgent है, it has to be dealt with urgently, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are urgent problems.
Ma'am, can we consider poverty as a pressing issue?
Yes, you can consider, but you have, see, Nafise, the thing is prioritizing your points is very important. You can say poverty because poverty is leading to terrorism. You can then go ahead to that. If poverty is reduced, terrorism will also come down. Where are the most terrorists? Which place do most terrorists come from?
Middle East.
ठीक है? So that is it. You can say poverty is a pressing problem because poverty is leading to so many other problems. Poverty is leading to disease. Poverty is leading to terrorism. Poverty is leading to many other problems. So poverty is a pressing problem. Okay, that is it.
Okay, ma'am.
So these are the
तो
points.
उसमें पावर जैसे टेररिज्म है, तो वहाँ पे हमें एग्जाम्पल भी देना पड़ेगा क्या, कि यहाँ से जहाँ पे जो ज्यादा लाइक जो कंट्री ज्यादा
एग्जाम्पल देनी पड़ेगी. अब देखो, अब टेररिस्ट है इंडिया में, टेररिज्म बॉम्ब्स गिरा रहा है और वो छुप रहा है किसी और कंट्री में. अगर वो कंट्री में हमारा साथ नहीं देगी, हम उसको पकड़ नहीं पाएंगे ना. सो दे हैव टू बी डेल्ट विद अब इंटरनेशनल इंटरवेंशन, इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन होएगी तभी तो हम पकड़ेंगे उसको. अब कहाँ से पकड़ा अमेरिका ने बिन लादेन को?
पाकिस्तान.
हाँ, तो पाकिस्तान कहता आप नहीं आ सकते हो मेरी कंट्री में, तो पकड़ पाता अमेरिका?
नहीं मैम.
इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन तो
नहीं
चाहिए
मैम.
ना.
बट मैम उन्होंने तो एम्बुश किया ना पाकिस्तान.
Yeah, whatever. So you can, international cooperation is needed. अब उनको करना पड़ा, ठीक है. अब इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन है, अगर हमारे जो कंट्री में कोई कुछ कर रहा है गलत, अगर कोई और कंट्री इसको शेल्टर कर रही है तो गलत कर रही है ना. तो इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन चाहिए ना अर्जेंट प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए.
ओके मैम, गॉट इट.
हाँ. So let us read these points and that will be the end of the class today. The environmental problems are affecting the whole world equally and need joint efforts to be ameliorated. Global warming is a problem which does not recognize national boundaries. All nations must come together to fight this problem on a war footing. Today, scientists all over are unanimously looking at alternative energy sources such as solar, water, and nuclear power. There are problems like terrorism which are having detrimental effect on our society. It is not possible to resolve these without trust and harmony between different nations. Then there are economic issues which the whole world is facing. There is the interdependence of the rich and poor nations. Yes, poverty here, Nafisa, your point is there. The economic events in one region affect people around the world. Example, US recession of 2008 and the coronavirus pandemic of 2020. Certain species are going extinct. Endangered animals need protection, which can only be done by joint efforts. Freshwater problem also needs to be tackled by joint efforts. So many I've given you points. You can pick and choose any three which you want to expand upon. You need not put all the points in one essay. Okay? So tell me,
Yes, ma'am.
did you enjoy today's class or did you find it a bit boring?
Very
Ma'am,
interesting.
enjoyed. It's
Enjoy.
productive, ma'am.
Very, very.
Ma'am, I enjoyed the class today because as an IR student, I learned a lot today about the globalization.
Yes. And you know, it is a topic which intimidates student, but it is an easy topic. Now you are realizing it is very easy topic.
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
It is very
Very,
easy.
very simple topics which you think are easy are sometimes difficult to write on. Okay? Family essays, children essays, old people essays, उसमें वो difficulty आ जाती है लिखने. इनको अब आप now you know these points, you will not find these essays difficult. In fact, you will find them easy when you get them. Okay? Chalo, see you tomorrow. Okay?
Excuse me, ma'am. Is it
Yes.
possible
Ma'am?
one session
Yeah.
we work and like practice on IT, everything related to like technology?
Technology
This
I think
topic.
also, yes, we can do one session, but this globalization is not over yet.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. I
No,
mean, like
see,
after this topic, we
yes, these
work
are
on
3, 4,
technology.
5, 6. Okay, 6 essays more. Then we can touch on technology essays. Yes, I have the technology essays also. Yes,
Thank you.
yes, and they are very, very well written. All technology points you get under one, you'll love them. Okay. Chalo,
Okay.
we'll do the
Thank you.
technology essays also. We'll finish
Ma'am?
globalization and then we'll come over to technology because tomorrow we can finish globalization. Okay. And then Thursday and
Okay.
Friday we can do technology essays. Right?
Ma'am?
Yes.
The class was very helpful, but today I just opened IDP's website and I got confused by seeing some tips over there.
What is there?
Ma'am, there was like some writing tips over there, and by reading that, I got confused because in one of those tips there were they stated over there that beginning of any paragraph the structure shows that we have to write there are many reasons, or there are several reasons, a few reasons, or these kind of sentences that we write in the beginning of the first BP. But over there it was written that we should avoid that, so I got confused while reading that should we write these kind of sentences in the beginning of any body
I
paragraph?
don't believe it is written that there are many reasons should be avoided. You are misrepresenting your point. Okay. You can share your site with me where you have read that, and then tomorrow we'll have a discussion on that. Okay. Because
Okay.
I don't believe that it can. How else would you frame the topic sentence? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Because of the same reason, I got confused, and there was also written in a sentence. There was also written that we should not write "I think" or something like that to clearly present our opinion. So,
No,
there were some
that's also
topics
wrong.
that I got confused while reading that tips.
No, that's also wrong. Okay. You can give personal examples. My students have got 7.5, 7.5 by giving personal examples. So I am talking all from my own experience and what I have seen all these years, how students are scoring. Even and writing scores have really gone up after we've come up with these simple formats. You know, sometimes my results are very strange to many other centers results. Like my students may not do very well in reading, listening, they get 6, 6.5, but in writing they get 7, 7.5 because they focus on the simplicity and clarity of expression. And all those things are really confusing me also now. So I would like to see your source from where you are getting exactly these lines. Okay. And tomorrow I will explain that to you. Okay. All right. See you tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am. It would be really helpful.
Bye. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Tajveer, send me the message of the site. Okay.